All right, welcome back. So what we're going to be doing today is looking at some present value questions using the present value table, as you can see on my screen here. Quite similar to the future value table, you have your interest rates and you have your period. Now, I'm not going to go through in too much detail what all these individual interest factors mean, but I'm definitely going to make sure that you know how to use it. So let's have a look at this question here. Patrick is saving for a holiday and deposits $1,200 into an account at the end of every 6 months for 5 years. Okay. The account pays 8% compounded half yearly, and we want to use the table to find the single amount he could invest now to produce the same result at the same interest rate over the same period of time. So if you've watched the video on what the present value is conceptually, you'll hopefully understand what that means. So what is his money worth now? Or how much does he need to invest now to get his future value? Okay, so if we look at our N periods, we've got 6 months for 5 years. So every 6 months means 5 times 2, so 10 half years. Okay, our rate is 8% yearly, and we are compounding half yearly, so we need to divide that by 2, so that's going to be plus 4% per half year. Now, like you did in the future value table, you literally look for these values. So we've got not 10%, we've got 4%, period of 10, so 8 points. The interest factor is 8.1109. Okay, so all we need to do to find the present value is literally get our deposit, so 1,200 times 8.1109. $1,200 times 8.1109. So our present value is equal to 9,733.08. So that's how much we would have to invest, or how much he would have to invest in one lump sum in order to get the future value. Now I want to just make sure here, we actually don't know what the future value is. Without using the table, we don't know how much all the contributions is going to add up to in the end. We can obviously work that out, but for this question, it doesn't require us to do so. All right, let's look at a question where the context is slightly changed. So AJ plans to borrow $20,000 from the credit union at 8% per annum to landscape his backyard. So notice now we're borrowing here instead of investing. He wants to repay in equal quarterly repayments over 3 years. So I'm just going to highlight the important stuff there. So how much does AJ repay each quarter? All right, now let's first of all just change these rates and periods so that they're the same. So our rate, and we'll start with our N. So our N is 3 years, but we're doing quarterly repayments. So we need to go 3 times 4, so it's going to be 12 quarters that we're working with. Our rate is 8% per annum, but because we're doing quarters, we need to divide that by 4. So that's 2% per quarter. All right, now we're going to need the tables. Let's just find our interest factor first, and then I'll show you what to do. So our interest factor will be 12 quarters here, and it is going to be 2%, so here, so 10.5753. Now, if we want to work out how much he needs to repay each quarter, I actually have to get the 20,000, and I need to divide that by the interest factor. Just 10.5753. So putting that in the calculator, 10.5753. So he needs to pay back 1891.20 per quarter. All right, so it's a little bit of a different context because before we've been looking at investing and now we're looking at paying back. So without getting too much into the weeds here, it's just like the point of view has changed. So instead of you investing, it's kind of like the bank is investing. So a simpler way to think about this is he's borrowing $20,000. So you only really got two options. You either times the interest factor or you divide the interest factor. Now, I don't think it would make sense for his repayment to be bigger than everything he's borrowing. So it's not going to be times. So just therefore, when you divide, you always want to just do a common sense check. Does that make sense? Well, yeah, it looks pretty correct. All right, question B. Calculate the total amount AJ will repay over 3 years. Okay, so we know that he's paying 1891.20 per quarter. We just worked that out. And he's paying that over 12 quarters, which we worked out up here. So we're going to times that by 12. So timesing that by 12, it's going to be 22694.31. Now that's the total repaid. Okay, so therefore the interest has to be the total repaid, so 22694.31 minus what he borrowed, which is $20,000. So answer here is 2694.39. Just highlight that there to make it a bit obvious. All right, cool. One more question, which is more an exam style question. So the table below gives the present value of annuity. So as we've seen, we've got a present value table. Numbers might be slightly different, but the gist is the same. Jasmine takes out a loan, okay, so notice that, of $12,000. So we probably need to divide. The loan is to be repaid half yearly over 4 years at an interest rate of 8% per year. By first using the present value interest factor table, find a half yearly payment, calculate the interest she will have to repay over the loan. Okay, so it's kind of guiding us what to do here. First of all, we need to work out what her repayment is. So we know that she's borrowing $12,000 and she's doing that over a period of 4 years, repaid half year. So n is going to be 4 times 2, so 8 periods. Our rate is 8% per year, but we're dividing that by 2 because it's half year, so we're going to get 4%. So we need to look for our interest factors here. So 4% at 8 periods looks like it's 6.7327. So we need to divide this 12,000 by 6.7327. Just move this over a bit. So what's that equal to? That's equal to 1782.35 per half year. Just box that up to make it a bit obvious. Okay, so now we want to work out what she's paid in total. So total repaid will be what her half yearly repayments is times by the number of periods, so 8, which we worked out right here. So her total repaid, it looks like it's going to be $14,258.77. So finally, the interest is just going to be that number subtracted by her principal, which is 12,000. So total interest is $2,258.77. All right, cool. So I hope that's helped you in understanding how to use these present value tables and also how to complete these questions. Just remember, do a common sense check. Is it going to be times? Is it going to be divide? Usually it's very, very obvious. Hope that helped. Let me know if you want to see any other type of videos in the comments. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.